Hey, if you own a website, you know that horrible sinking feeling, right? When your site just suddenly slows to a crawl or you get that dreaded alert that your server is totally overwhelmed. 9 times out of 10, it means one thing: you're under attack. So, in the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how you can build a custom Cloudflare shield to fight back and, protect your online business. Does this look familiar to you? That sudden slowdown, the server alerts screaming about high CPU, that nagging feeling that your site is just struggling? If you're nodding your head right now, you know exactly how frustrating and, honestly, how stressful this can be. It's almost always a sign that you're dealing with a flood of bad traffic, not your actual customers. And these are the classic giveaways. Slow loading times, they're not just annoying, they are actively driving away real paying customers. That high CPU usage, well, that's basically your server crying for help right before it gives up and crashes. And those relentless brute force attempts on your login page, that's not just random noise. That is someone actively trying to kick down your digital front door. Every single one of these is a massive red flag. So, what's the solution here? A lot of people think you can just flip a single security switch and you're done, but let's be real, that rarely works. The real solution is about building something way smarter, a custom defense system that's tailored specifically to your website's weaknesses. You see, this is the whole philosophy behind doing it right. It's not about just turning on a service like Cloudflare. True protection comes from creating a defense system that actually understands your website's unique traffic patterns and its vulnerabilities. Think of it like this. It's the difference between a generic padlock from the hardware store and a custom-built security system for your home. And this is what that custom system looks like in practice, a multi-layered shield. We start with DDoS and bot mitigation to stop that tidal wave of bad traffic right in its tracks. We add login protection to secure your front door, and something called WAF hardening to block all the common exploits. Rate limiting stops those overwhelming request floods, and maybe most importantly, we set up origin protection. This is absolutely crucial. It hides your server's real IP address, which means attackers can't just bypass all your defenses and hit your server directly. Let's just zero in on one of those layers for a second: WAF hardening. WAF stands for Web Application Firewall. The best way to think of it is like a super intelligent security guard for your website. It inspects every single visitor and it's looking for known bad behavior, things like SQL injections or probes from nasty botnets. It stops them right at the gate so they never even get a chance to cause trouble. Of course, when you're setting up a security system, the absolute last thing you want to do is accidentally lock out your real customers. That's why the way this is all implemented is just as important as the tools themselves. It has to be done carefully. And this right here explains it perfectly. The number one rule is to be cautious. That's why every new security rule I set up starts in a log or simulate mode. This lets us see exactly what kind of traffic would get blocked without actually blocking anyone. It's like a dress rehearsal for your security. We can fine-tune everything and only push the rules live once we are 100% certain that your real customers won't be affected at all. So here's the full 6-step process, and it's designed for maximum safety and for you to see everything. First, we do a quick traffic review to see exactly what's hitting your site. Then, we get the Cloudflare basics configured: DNS, SSL, all that good stuff. Step 3 is where the magic happens. We build your custom WAF and firewall rules. But then, crucially, step 4, we test everything. We make sure normal customers can still do what they need to do. Only then, in step 5, do we go live and enforce the rules. And finally, you get a complete delivery report, so you know exactly what was done. It's a professional, transparent process from start to finish. Okay, so who actually needs this level of protection? How do you know if your website is the kind of target that would really benefit from a custom shield like this?
Well, honestly, this service is designed for pretty much anyone seeing those red flags we talked about earlier. If you're getting hammered by bots and scrapers, if you're seeing your service CPU spike because of malicious traffic, or if you're running on a popular platform like WordPress or Shopify that attackers just love to target, then this is for you. This is for people who have moved past a what-if risk to a real active problem that's hurting their business right now.
Okay, so let's talk about the first step you can take to fix this. For anyone who needs to get that initial powerful line of defense up and running fast, there's a specific starter package designed to do just that. And let's talk about the investment. For a simple one-time cost of $50, you get a powerful, professional-grade security foundation for your site. The entire goal here is to make top-tier protection accessible and to give you an immediate shield against all the most common attacks out there. And just look at everything that's included for that price. This is not just flipping a switch. This is the entire professional process we just walked through. You get the full DNS and SSL setup, the custom WAF and firewall rules, bot protection, and that critical simulate first safe rollout. Plus, you get verification checks before and after, and a complete audit report at the end. The point is, you're getting a comprehensive, expert setup and total transparency for a tiny fraction of what you'd expect to pay.
So, here's the bottom line. Professional website security does not have to be complicated or ridiculously expensive. The next step is super simple. Just send over your website's URL. There's no commitment. It's just the start of a conversation to get a professional recommendation tailored specifically for your site. Because really, when your website is your business, can you afford to rely on guesswork for its protection?